Good day, guys. For this video lecture, we will be discussing our last topic sa Engineering Utilities 2. So last na system na natin to, we have here our acoustical control systems. So itong system na to is basically the system we use to control sound. To be more precise, ang laman ng system na to are elements that we use to limit noise issues sa mga building. So let us discuss first our fundamentals of sound. Pero bago yan, we have here acoustics, no? So isisingit ko lang siya dito kasi ito mismo yung nasa pangalan ng system natin, di ba? For those who do not know what acoustics mean, ito lang naman yan. Basically, pag-aaral siya ng sound, kung paano siya nagagawa, anong pinanggagalingan, ganon, paano siya nagta-travel, tas anong epekto niya. Next, we have sound. So this is the technical description of what sound is. Parang sinasabi na din nito kung paano nagkakaroon ng sound, no? Pero let us not be too physicsy, okay? Sound, guys, is simply what we hear. However, in controlling sound kasi, importante to note na sound is a wave and nagta-travel siya through fluids. So physically, nandyan siya, pero hindi mo kasi siya nakikita, di ba? So ganito, nanggagaling siya sa isang source, so something na nagpo-produce ng vibration. And from there, sound waves travel papunta sa'yo. So hindi to ganun kasimple pero let me just explain in layman's term using an analogy. So parang kung binato kita ng bola, syempre ako yung source, ikaw yung magre-receive, no? So kung wala kang ginawa, nakatayo ka lang doon, edi matatamaan ka ng bola, di ba? Pero kung naglagay ka ng harang sa harap mo, edi di ka tatamaan ng bola. Parang ganun lang din yung sound waves. Pag nagsalita ako, for example, so sound waves coming from my vocal cords, travel papunta sa'yo. So kung wala kang ginawa, syempre maririnig mo, di ba? Pero again, if naglagay ka ng harang sa harap mo, some sound may be blocked. So some hindi lahat. So pwedeng humina lang yung maririnig mo. Kasi nga, hindi naman as simple as throwing a ball yung transmission ng sound. Pero basically, that is the overview of sound and how it is controlled. O sige, proceed tayo. We have here next the intensity of sound. So you can think of this as the factual na lakas ng isang sound. So sinasabi ko factual kasi true siya for all people. Hindi yan nagbabago, hindi yan subjective. O sige, maging technical tayo onte So this is the physically measurable quantity ng sound. Energy siya, transported by a wave per unit time across a unit area perpendicular to the flow. Okay? O decibel yung measure natin ng intensity of sound. So you can see here our decibel levels and examples ng sound na pinanggagalingan ng measurements. As you can see here, above 85 decibels daw is harmful. Now, discuss naman natin itong subjective na lakas ng isang sound, which is itong loudness. Subjective kasi nga, human perception. Kumbaga para sa'yo, gaano ba kalakas yung sound na narinig mo? O, ganun siya. So let's say meron tayong iisang source of sound, tas nasa malapit ka, nasa malayo ako, no? Mas malakas yung naririnig mo compared sa akin, or at least yung perception mo. Or let's say yung distance natin from the source is parehas lang, pero puno ng earwax yung tenga mo. Tapos ako malinis. Eh di mas malakas para sa akin yung sound, di ba? O, ganun yung loudness. Ngayon, loudness, guys, is hard to quantify kasi nga hindi naman tayo pare-parehas ng perception, no? However, meron tayong tinatawag na A-weighted decibel. Pero, sound intensity pa din yung minimeasure nito. It is just adjusted to match the acuity of the human ear or yung clarity ng pag-perceive nyo ng sound. Such that, captured lang our sounds with frequencies na talagang naririnig natin. Pero ano ba yung frequency of sound? So hindi ko sure kung familiar kayo sa waves, oscillations, or even circular motion, no? But this tells us how many complete cycles are completed in a second. So ayun yung ma-physics na description yan. Pero frequency is just the pitch. So kung gaano ka deep or kung gaano ka high yung isang sound. So meron kasi tayong mga frequencies that are too low to be perceived by the human ear. Ganon din sa mga frequencies na sobrang taas. So meron lang range of frequencies na audible sa atin. And going back sa A-weighted decibel, nasa within that range lang siya. Next, let us discuss the behavior of sound. So kung paano siya gumalaw after it comes in contact with an object. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, na hindi as simple as throwing a ball yung transmission ng sound. Kasi 'di ba sa bola, pag binato mo yung isang object, magba-bounce back lang yan. In the case of sound waves, we have three behaviors. First, we have reflection, wherein if the sound waves come in contact with an object, the sound waves bounces back. Okay? We also have absorption, wherein the sound wave is completely stopped, meaning it does not pass through and it does not bounce back. Lastly, we have transmission, wherein the sound goes through the object. Ngayon, these behaviors are usually not isolated. They usually happen all at once. So if we have a sound wave coming from a source, if it comes in contact with an object, some of the sound can get reflected, some can get absorbed, no? Some can get transmitted. But then again, this is still dependent on the material that the object is made up of. Next, discuss naman natin our sound ratings. So ito yung rating ng material on how well they control sound, pero specific to a behavior. First, we have our transmission or isolation rating. So ine-evaluate nito yung transmission ng sound through construction assemblies. So nire-rate nito how well construction assemblies stop yung pagpapass through ng sound. So unang transmission rating natin is the sound transmission class or the STC. Single number rating siya guys. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong number na nagre-representa sa kung gaano siya ka-effective mag-block ng sound from passing through. So eto, ginagamit natin siya to rate or evaluate our walls, floor to ceiling assemblies, and even doors, no? So si STC guys, okay siya for speech type noise. However, in the case that we use this transmission rating for lower frequency sounds, nagiging unreliable siya. That is because frequencies below 125 Hz or yung mga ma-base na are not included sa STC rating. So you can cross-check this one sa ASTM standards natin for rating sound insulations. Okay? Anyways, pagka mas mataas yung STC rating natin, mas effective yung pagbablock natin ng sound from passing through. So mas mababa yung transmission. To give you lang an idea sa numbers sa STC rating, typically naglalaro yung range in between 15 to 70 plus, ganon. Yung mga less than 50 ang STC rating, medyo mababa na yung privacy niyan. Kasi may maglilik at maglilik na sound papunta sa other side of the assembly. Siyempre, pagka nasa pinakamababa ka na STC rating, clear na yung pinag-uusapan sa kabila. Okay? So wala nang privacy totally. Sa mga 50 pataas, goods na yan. Pagka more than 70, sobrang goods. Kaya lang, mahal na. Ganun yun. Okay? Sige, next tayo. We also have the transmission loss. Simple lang si transmission loss. Kung ano yung pangalan niya, ayun lang din mismo yung tinutukoy ng rating na to. So let's say meron tayong dalawang room na magkatabi and separated sila by a wall. So pwede natin kunin yung transmission loss rating ng wall na yon sa gitna nila, no? So what you do is get the intensity ng sound sa room na kung saan located yung source ng sound. And then, punta ka sa kabilang room. Tapos kunin mo din yung intensity ng sound from that room. Tapos kunin mo lang yung difference nila. Ipag-subtract mo lang. Tapos kung ano man yung nakuha mo, that is the transmission loss. Pero gagawin mo yan for different frequencies. And then you take the average. So pag mas mataas si transmission loss, ibig sabihin, mas mababa yung transmission. Meaning, mas effective siyang mag-block ng sound. Next is our noise isolation class. So single number rating lang din to, similar to the STC. However, we are not looking at single specific elements. Sa STC kasi, tinitignan natin yung rating ng wall, rating ng floors, rating ng ceilings, ganon. Pero pagka NIC yung pinag-uusapan natin, yung transmission of sound from one room to another yung ine-evaluate natin. So the whole of the two connected rooms. Hindi lang basta yung pader, for example, na nagse-separate sa kanila. Lahat ng pathways na pwedeng daanan ng sound wave to be transmitted to the other room, kino-consider natin. Pwede kasi na magkaroon tayo ng direct transmission, that is yung sound na nagpa-pass through dun mismo sa separating wall or partition. We also have your flanking transmission, no, wherein maglo-long cut yung sound wave dadaan muna siya sa mga ceilings or tatakasan niya yung mga walls, ganun, bago sila pumunta sa kabilang room. And then, leaking from gaps sa mga walls, sa mga holes, sa mga cracks, tsaka outlets, ganun. Okay? So, if our NIC is high, ibig sabihin, mababa yung transmission. So, onti lang yung nagpa-pass through na sound from one room to another. Okay? Next, we also have our impact ratings. So, ito naman, ine-evaluate niya how effective an assembly is in blocking impact sounds. So, sabihin natin nasa second floor ka, tas ako nasa baba. So, yung tunog ng footsteps mo galing sa taas na naririnig ko sa baba is an example of an impact sound. So, basically, yung sound is generated when an object comes in contact with the assembly mismo. Okay? So, we will have a good impact rating pagka hindi rinig sa baba yung mga footsteps, mga furnitures na hinihila along the floor, o mga objects na nahuhulog, etc. etc. Okay? For the impact rating, we have the impact insulation class. We actually also have the impact noise rating. Kaya lang obsolete na siya. So I believe wala nang rason para i-discuss pa yon, no? So stick tayo dito sa impact insulation class or the IIC. So number rating lang din ulit siya, expressed in decibels. So closely related siya sa STC. Pero again, impact sounds yung focus nito. And usually when we say impact ratings guys, hindi lang naman IIC. Typically floor to ceiling assemblies lang yung tinitignan natin. Okay? So the higher the IIC, the lower the transmission. Okay guys? Let us proceed to our absorption ratings. So ine-evaluate naman nito how effective an assembly is in absorbing sound. First, we have the absorption coefficient. So fraction lang siya of the sound that is absorbed. So say for example, 50% ng sound yung na-absorb. So in this scale provided right here, etong 0 to 1, we can say ng absorption coefficient natin is 0.5. So etong 0 to 1, parang 0 to 100% lang din yan. Okay? So the higher the absorption coefficient, the higher the absorption. So kung 0 yung absorption coefficient mo, ibig sabihin, lahat is reflected back. And if 1 naman yung absorption coefficient mo, lahat ng sound is absorbed or not reflected. O, ganun yun. Okay? We also have the noise reduction coefficient. Si NRC guys is mostly similar to the absorption coefficient. Kaya lang, we are just considering middle frequencies. So, etong 250 to 2000 Hz na nakalagay dito. So, say if meron tayong absorption coefficients for each respective frequencies, no? We just consider those and then i-average natin. Yung resulta nun, expressed to the nearest 0.05 is the NRC. Okay? So, 0 to 1 pa din yung range natin ha. So, tulad ng absorption coefficient, if the NRC is high, it means that the absorption is high. Lastly, we have the ceiling attenuation class. So, ine-evaluate naman nito how effective a ceiling is as a barrier such that yung sound is not transmitted to adjacent closed areas or rooms. So, pwede kasing dumaan yung sound sa mga ceilings, no? Papunta sa ibang spaces. So, ito is a rating specifically for ceilings. Okay? So, the higher the CAC, mas effective siya in blocking sounds. Meaning, lower yung transmission. Okay, guys? So, let us now discuss acoustical design in buildings. So, in here, we will be looking at the elements na pwede natin i-consider to effectively control sound. And we will start large, no? Bigger picture muna tayo. So, we have here the surrounding environment. Bago tayo kumuha ng lote na pagpapatayuan ng structure, the surrounding environment should be carefully reviewed first. So, as much as possible, yung building dapat akma dun sa lugar. So, you have to carefully choose the location. Okay? For example, kung nursing home for the elderly yung ipapatayo mo, dapat di mo siya ilalagay malapit sa airport, ganon. Kasi the old people most probably want their peace, no? So, ayaw nila ng maingay. So, once na okay na yung site, you then have to consider the building orientation. So, within the site, saan mo ilalagay yung structure, paano yung ayos, sa nakaharap, ganon, such that minimize yung ingay na naririnig sa loob na galing sa labas. Okay? So, you can also make use of barriers from the surrounding environment. So, you can place this structure sa site wherein na-utilize mo yung mga yan. Okay? Ngayon, pasok naman tayo sa loob, no? So, pag-usapan naman natin itong arrangement and layout of rooms. So, una, we have to separate the noisy rooms and the quiet rooms. So, as much as possible, dapat magkalayo yung mga yan. So, you also have to consider the placement of windows and doors. Hindi yung ilalagay mo na lang kung saan mo gusto. For example, yung mga doors can be placed na staggered tulad ng nakikita nyo sa figure, no? Etong nasa left sa baba, no? So, ibig sabihin nito guys, yung doors dapat of the rooms across each other are not directly facing each other. So, hindi dapat sila magkahanay. Okay? So, explanation dyan, ganito. So, sound in these cases kasi is usually transmitted sa door. Kasi nga, mas mababa yung sound rating niyan compared sa mga walls eh. So, ayan yung parte or element na pwedeng paglitan ng sound. Ngayon, pag may na-transmit na sound dyan sa door, hindi yan pupunta sa kaharap ng room. Kasi most likely, hindi yan madadaanan ng sound wave. Compared pag magkaharap sila. Pag na-transmit yung sound sa door, since nasa harap lang niya, dadaanan ng sound wave yung door sa harap ng room. O ganun yon, okay? Another example, itong window placement na to, no, dito sa right sa baba, is not okay. Kasi kung maingay dito sa room sa right, directly na pupunta yung sound sa adjacent room because of the window placement. Okay? Next is the shape of the room, and this just depends on the room function and how we want the sound to behave, no? For example, typically iniiwasan natin yung mga mahahabang rooms na matataas yung ceilings, no? Kasi nagkakaroon ng reverberation yan or echoing. So yung sound is nagpe-persist, no? Matagal siyang maglaho kaya nag-e-echo. Pero again, depende naman sa function yan eh. So, meron naman tayong mga structure na ganyan, di ba? Tulad ng mga simbahan. Kasi if there is reverb, parang mas dama mo yung worship, no? Pero eksaktong reverb lang dapat Pagka too much yung echoing, nagiging pangit kasi yung sound. Next, we also have focusing surfaces. So eto guys, focuses on the reflection na behavior ng sound, no? So yung pagre-reflect natin ng sound, again, depends naman sa function ng room. Pero going back sa focusing surfaces guys, so these are surface shapes na gustong i-reflect yung sound sa iisang area. So example nito are concave surfaces, domes, etc. etc. Ngayon ang problema dito, nagkakaroon tayo ng dead spots tsaka hot spots or live spots, no? Meaning, merong mga mas mahina yung naririnig. Okay? Minsan, gusto natin that the sound is evenly dispersed, meaning yung tunog dapat kalat, no? So we want to avoid this, yung focusing surfaces. Okay? Or, we can make use of diffusion. Rough walls, for example, tend to diffuse sound. So, kinakalat nila yung sound waves. Okay? We also have absorbing surfaces. So, gamit tayo ng mga elements sa structure na merong sound absorbing capabilities. So, dito din pumapasok yung mga acoustical board, acoustical tiles, no, na dinidikit-dikit natin sa ceilings and sa walls. So, importante itong absorbing surfaces kapag ayaw mo ng too much reflected sound na nag-lead sa echoing. And lastly, we have the isolation of the following, no? For vibration, usually sa mga structures, equipment ang nagpo-produce such as your pumps, your motors, gano'n, no? When we say we want to isolate yung vibration, ibig sabihin, ayaw natin na ipasa netong mga to, yung vibration nila sa structure. Kasi magiging maingay yan eh. And we can do that by mounting them. And yung mount, dapat nila should be able to dampen vibration. So, dapat yung mount na sasalo ng vibration, wala ng vibration na ipapasa sa mismong structure. Okay? For isolation of impact naman, we can just use materials na nag-a-absorb ng impact sa mga flooring natin. So, meron dapat tayong ina-underlay sa mga floors natin na sasalo ng impact. Pag wala tayong budget, okay na yung carpet, no? And lastly, the isolation of sound, no, which is just making use of materials na makakapagbigay sa atin ng mataas na transmission rating. Para yung ingay sa isang room, manatili lang dun, okay? So example, making use of sobrang dense na walls kasi most likely mahihirapan mag-pass through yung sound dyan, okay? So ayun lang for the acoustical design or at least yung mga kailangan mong i-consider, no, when you design. So that is all for this video, no? Kita-kits na lang sa exam. Thank you. Bye-bye.